Are you drowning in meetings? Is your calendar full, but the work really just keeps slipping? Have meetings just become what you do? This probably isn't a meeting problem, it's a cadence problem. So here's the thing. Most CEOs I work with, they don't lack the discipline, they lack the space. Their weeks are packed. Leadership meetings, one-to-ones, reviews, updates, quick syncs that are, let's be honest, rarely quick. And slowly, almost without noticing, meetings become the job. So people try to fix meetings, right? That's the natural thing to do. And that, honestly, it rarely works. So I want to show you a cadence shift I've seen work consistently. Not theory, not productivity hacks, a practical way to get your organization back into deep work without losing alignment. It's called hot and cool weeks. So most businesses run on autopilot when it comes to rhythm. Weekly meetings feel sensible, monthly reporting feels grown up, and quarterly reviews, well, they're strategic, right? But let's be honest, most businesses don't change meaningfully every single week. Weekly reporting often creates motion, but not progress. Monthly is often too slow, and quarterly is usually too late. What you end up with is just a lot of noise. A lot of talking, lots of coordinating, and very little thinking. And when that starts to hurt, leaders do what leaders do, and they try to optimize around those surface level symptoms. So you've probably tried to fix those meetings. You've probably tried tighter agendas, pre-reads, smaller groups, shorter 15-minute slots. And honestly, none of that is bad, and some of it's probably helped, but it hasn't helped reduce that meeting overload. It doesn't change the fact that the organisations never come up for air, because the real issue isn't how meetings are run, but how often they exist. This is a cadence issue, not a facilitation issue. Cadence is the rhythm your organisation lives inside. It's the invisible operating system. It determines when people think, when they decide, when they reflect, when they recover, and most companies never really design cadence, they just inherit it. And here's where hot and cool weeks can come in. So it's a simple shift. Instead of the weekly cycle, you move to a bi-weekly cadence. 2 types of weeks, 2 very different modes. Hot weeks, well, they're meeting heavy by design. This is where you place your leadership team meetings, one-to-ones, functional reviews, cross-team forums. These are the meetings that repeat. If it normally happens every week, it happens in the hot week. Hot weeks are intense, they're social. That's fine, that's what they're there for. They are designed for the time when you all get together to decide things. And cool weeks, well, they're the opposite. They're protected. In cool weeks, there's no standing meetings. There's no recurring forums, no default check-ins. There's nothing repeating on your calendar in those cool weeks. People can still meet if they need to, but really only ad hoc, purpose-led, the kind of stuff you need to get the deep work done. And then the default shifts from talking about the work to actually doing the work in the cool weeks. This is when strategy actually gets written, things get done, decisions get thought through, and people can actually concentrate on doing the work, their job. And here's the thing that most people miss. It isn't slower, it's much smarter. The immediate fear, often you see, is, won't this slow us down? But in practice, actually, it does the opposite. Because what slows organisations down isn't a lack of meetings, it's a lack of clarity. It's a lack of time to do work. Hot weeks create alignment, cool weeks create progress, and together they create momentum. So overall, this approach also improves the quality of meetings. People arrive with something to say, not just something to report. They've had a chance to do the work in between the meetings, which is rarely the case if most people's schedules are tight. And there's another benefit as well, organisational design. Cool weeks are ideal for deep work, strategy, creative thinking. They're also ideal for vacations, school vacations, things like Thanksgiving and Christmas. If you get them to fall on your cool weeks, that doesn't slow the organisation down. So instead of fighting reality, kids, energy dips, time off, you design cadence around it. You encourage people to take leave in cool weeks. You plan school holidays and vacations in cool weeks, accept that modern life exists. Productivity doesn't go down, it just adapts to the reality of time. And here's normally what shifts at the top. People stop feeling like bottlenecks. You get your thinking time back. Your calendar starts reflecting priorities and pressure. You start to act versus reacting to all of the meetings that you are placed into. You stop living in meetings that you have the chance to be able to do the work. So how do you go about doing this? Well, you pilot it for 60 or 90 days. You set a team, maybe it's your leadership team moves to this, but you try it out, you see how it works, you adapt. And expect discomfort at first. Honestly, that's normal. Most people are used to this weekly check-in approach. And actually, the reality is, in giving people this time, you give them the space to adapt to the new way of working. And what you're really not doing here, reducing meetings, you're just actually restoring the rhythm. You're giving the organisation a pulse, a breathing pattern, white space, time to work, time to act. So if your business feels busy but effective, if calendars are full, outcomes feel thin, meetings have quietly become the job, stop trying to fix the symptoms. Change the rhythm. Hot weeks to align, cool weeks to build. And that cadence, it changes behaviour. Well, behaviour, let's face it changes results. So this has landed, and next time I'll be back with how to design your week as a leader with intention. Thank you very much for your time. Bye-bye.